'Tis the season to be jolly, and here's some quick gift suggestions for your Game Master using gifts that my players have given me. With all the terrain, miniatures, and books that I've invested in as a Game Master, it's always nice when I'm given a gift of something that I haven't already thought of or bought for myself. In no particular order of importance, here's number 1, pretty dice. I know your Dungeon Master most probably has a million dice like I do, but I keep gifted dice in a special place. I'm not a superstitious person, but these Paladin dice that were gifted to me strike fear in my players after conveniently rolling crits during combat. While I haven't bought many dice myself, I almost exclusively use these gifted dice during my games. An eternal reminder of my amazing players. I would recommend a set of metal dice for your DM if they don't already have one. I personally love the heft and how it doesn't fly everywhere like the lighter acrylic dice. Or you could go bougie and get some expensive gemstone dice, but I can't guarantee that your Game Master won't relegate them as display pieces instead. Or just get the biggest die you can find for the epic rolls. Number 2, minute glass. This was a piece made in India that was gifted to me from a player. While in my head I knew that this was something I always had wanted, I never brought myself to order one. This specific minute glass is a little inaccurate. It spins for about 52 seconds, but all the DM needs is the pressure of a minute glass to get players to go through their turns faster. Since getting this, I honestly haven't really had to flip it much, but it just being on the table causes everyone to be more conscious about their turns. Number 3, health potions. These were made by buying some jars and filling them up with resin and red food coloring with a couple of custom D4s. You can buy a plastic test tube, a jar, or anything that you think could hold a health potion. As a DM, I know I'm quite stingy with health potions, but this has definitely made me a lot more generous, knowing that I can show these off during games. A+ gift for the brutal Game Masters, and a great way to hint to them that you want more support. Number 4, measuring templates. This made boss fights and spellcasters way quicker to run. Less box counting, more damage dealing. This template in particular has a D8 direction to help with confusion or random direction movement, such as when a character is blinded. And honestly, that's it for this one, really. Like, nothing much else to say. Number 5, themed notebooks. This is a leather-bound notebook for a Woodlands themed campaign that I'm running. Currently it's still empty because it's brand new. It has replaceable notebooks as well. And I also have a more Eastern Asian themed notebook for a Three Kingdoms inspired setting that I've ran years ago, but I can't find the book right now. Most Dungeon Masters nowadays are digital, but it always does feel good to write in them, and this one in particular has little slots here that I like to use for items or NPCs that I might give to players. Number 6, D&D themed shirts. This one in particular was given to me last year, and depending on the DM, this might be a hilarious joke being the OKS Game Master, but I definitely need more of D&D or TTRPG themed clothes, and maybe you can consider buying your DM a DM costume so that, you know, there's something to wear for Christmas and or Halloween next year. Number 7, condition ring. These are amazing for tracking concentration, hunter's mark, bless, and any other conditions that your players may use often, such as stun for your monks. My set are 3D printed, looking to get them painted, but there are tons of rings that come color coded already. 10 out of 10 purchase. For me, especially as someone 3D print, the files have covered their worth, and I can print more conditions and even gift them to players, such as, again, stun counters for all the monks out there. Number 8, flight standees. These have been beautiful to use in combat, and it's always super fun showing a party a dragon that's flying down in a 3-dimensional space. And this only adds on to the immersion. I've also used these standees for floating platforms, underwater combat, and multi-level combat. My set comes conveniently packed in a box, and I actually have a couple of bars that can even go up way higher. And these little divots here also denote the height of the character. I'd suggest also getting single standees as well for individual characters, but I'll wait for one of my players to get me one of those. Just having these around forces me as a Dungeon Master to think about flying characters, different terrain encounters, and it reminds me that we can play this game on a vertical plane as well. I always find joy in seeing a player light up when I whip this out for the druid who can turn into a bird, or when the wizard casts fly on a barbarian. Number 9, D&D themed candies. I'd love to develop a collection of these so that when I run games at home, I can immerse players with the light, the sounds, and with these, you can also tack the sense of your player's smell. This specific candle is called Adventurer's Emporium, and it smells a lot like armor and leather, basically when your players visit a blacksmith or a weapons merchant. Number 10, to tie everything back to number 1, an organized dice bag. My players call this the dice bag of holding. It's a permanent fixture now in my DMing kit. This bag makes it easier for players to find dice they need if they ever need more, and it's amazing for new players who haven't really been converted into dice goblins yet, and they need to learn how to familiarize themselves with dice. It's organized by dice type, and that's it. Really pretty straightforward. Some bonus things that I'd like to mention that I don't formally have physical copies of are third-party books and PDFs like Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master or The Monsters Know What They're Doing, which are amazing for helping your GM prep their games. Or if you have a DM that likes to paint miniatures, just throw one here. Buy paints or airbrush thinner for your miniature collector / painter game master. I know I could always use way more primer. That's it for now, and let me know what you're giving to your game master or to any of your fellow players in the comments down below. Subscribe for more D&D content, and don't forget, who's awesome? You're awesome. Click here for a free D&D subclass from Valentine's Day.